The arrow and the storm. The wind howled like a wounded beast as Nareth Voidtide ascended the icy slopes of Mount Tharzul. Snow fell in sideways sheets, stinging his skin despite the runes woven into his cloak. The warmth of the Duskmire had long since faded, replaced by the cold breath of the mountain, cruel and unrelenting. He moved with purpose, each step silent, even on the brittle frost. Far below, nestled in the mountain's basin like a festering wound, sprawled the Orc stronghold, a brutal fortress of bonewood palisades, black iron towers and crude fire altars. Smoke rose from its chimneys carrying the stench of blood and oil. They called it Kraag'Mol, and it was not built for defense. It was built for war. Nareth crouched on a ridge and surveyed the enemy camp through a lens stone. Orcs patrolled in ragged circles, stomping in heavy armor, their breath steaming in the cold. Siege engines were being assembled from felled trees and scavenged metal. War drums thundered in ritual rhythm. This was no mere raiding party. It was an invasion force. His mission was clear. Slip inside, find the war chief, and mark him for death. He waited until night deepened. Then he moved. Swift as a winter gust, scaling a hidden path that wove between rock and shadow. He slipped past sentries, their senses dulled by drink and snowblindness. When needed, his bow whispered death. No cries, no alarms. Within an hour, he reached the inner keep, a jagged spire rising from the cliff face, its entrance guarded by crude glyphs scorched into stone. Nareth recognized the symbols, warding runes, but sloppily made. He pulled a pouch from his belt, fingers brushing over powdered obsidian and dried moonblossom petals. A quiet incantation, a flick of dust, and the glyphs sizzled out like dying embers. Inside, the warmth was stifling. Braziers burned with green flame, and the air stank of blood rites. Trophies lined the walls, elven helms, shattered blades, bones. Nareth's jaw clenched. At the hall's end sat Gorvak One-Eye, the Orc war chief, a mountain of muscle and scars, draped in a cloak of dire wolf pelts. He gnawed on charred meat, laughing with his champions. His eye, the remaining one, was the colour of molten gold. Nareth didn't draw his bow. Not yet. Instead, he pulled a runestone from his cloak, black as pitch, carved with his house sigil, and whispered a spell. The stone shimmered, its magic latching onto the war chief's essence, binding his soul to its pull. Now he was marked. Backing away, Nareth vanished into the shadows before the Orcs knew he was ever there. At dawn, far away atop the ridge, he watched from the snow as a single arrow, tied with a blood-red thread, arced through the sky. It landed in the centre of Kraag'Mol's main courtyard. The message was clear. The Dark Elves were coming.